So, this week's podcast is a bit different because I wanted each of you to be here with me, but so that we could chat face to face, but we can't right now. Who really wants to be on another canceled flight or a delayed flight and then not be able to rent a car when you get there? Glitches from summer of 2022. And I'm sure there are many of you who are actually traveling right now, and kudos to you to do that. I did a lot of traveling before the spring hit, so because I knew that this was going to happen. So excited to be traveling in the fall again and in early 2023. So let's just pop over to this. So I've decided to visualize about 100 of you all seated around round tables, and you've got your iPads out and you've got your notebooks out. And my plan is to try and address your three biggest problems when it comes to money and business, and to highlight a few of the mistakes that you might be making. So I'm just testing out this background. It's just a little weird because every once in a while you get these blackout spots and they're kind of distracting. But anyway, and with that, I want to try and somehow be that breath of fresh air that everybody is searching for right now. And we're desperate to find that breath of fresh air in these tumultuous times, and also to be an anchor for you and a lighthouse all at the same time. Now, here's the thing about everything that I've learned about what makes my business what it is today and what makes my life what it is today. I didn't know when I sat on the floor of my canine physiotherapist's office with my dog Diaz, holding the dog, not the physiotherapist, as she got acupuncture in the weirdest of places, that one question that day would change my life forever. And with that, I'm just going to flip over and you will see me. I'll be back in a little bit. But right now, we're just going to flip over to the presentation, which I hope will add a little bit of spark and fire and light to this presentation. So just takes a minute. And then I'm just going to disappear out. See, when Carrie asked me if I was interested in an online business that was growing and expanding globally, one that I didn't need to fork over any money really for to get started, there were three things she didn't know about me. One, that my current business, the Summit, was hemorrhaging money despite being in very, very high demand and consistently being booked out. Two, that I was maxing out my credit card about every 2 weeks and I was $100,000 in debt, much of that from having started the Summit. And three, that I was living in a 320 square foot converted horse stable with no running water, no bathroom, no kitchen, and a tiny space heater to keep it warm. And I was working 80 to 90 hours at a minimum every single week. She did know that I was driving a 97 Toyota 4Runner Wanda with a smashed in front fender, though. She didn't know that I had a big dream, something that I'd had in my mind since my mid-20s. I dreamed, like many of you, of having a remote business. That's what we called it back then. One that didn't rely on me as the sole source of revenue, that I could work from anywhere in the world, 100% on my own schedule, with no one telling me what to do, and with lots and lots and lots of time away. Now, that was the 18th of July, 2014, almost 8 years ago to the day. I had no idea how I could get to that place. I had struggled with money all my life, even as a well-paid, successful, professional accountant. Get it done, get it, then it's gone. Try saving or investing and get some success, and then some crisis would cause me to raid those funds. I became the self-sabotage queen. Yet I believed that I could figure it out, that each little step I took was heading the right way. And one day, I committed to creating this podcast. For a year, I'd followed people like Lewis Howes of the School of Greatness, John Lee Dumas of Entrepreneurs on Fire, and Rich Roll of the Rich Roll podcast, who were already at 700 to 1,000 episodes, watching and trying to figure out a format that both you, my listeners, my clients, my customers, and my future clients and I would both love. I had almost everything ready to go, probably 90% or more. And guess what I did? Yeah, I sat on the idea for a full year, a full 365 days, stuck, unable to let myself be visible or my voice to be heard, ignoring each one of you and what you were asking for help with. Scared that even with my education and my business experience, I wasn't going to be enough. I wasn't going to be good enough, impactful enough, that what I released wouldn't be the quality of what Lewis and JLD or Rich are releasing. Really, Debbie? They've been in business for 7 years or more when you were just starting. Now, I'm pretty damn sure that there's a whole bunch of you that are doing just that when it comes to changing out your money story. And entrepreneurs, something in your business, you might even be calling it a lack of cash or your cash situation. And I learned that trying to copy exactly what someone else said they did absolutely wasn't the magic pill. That taking what resonated with me, testing it out, keeping what worked and tossing what didn't, as well as constantly going back to these funky notebooks that you've heard me all talk about. And you've seen me use them and scanning back for the next nugget to literally jump off the page into my brain. And as I learned to let the universe be my master guide. That was the path to my dream. So why am I telling you this? Because, my friends, I know you're scared as shit right now, watching your money evaporate every day. The pandemic has been brutal. No, eye-opening, revelatory. For most people, their worries about having enough is consuming their brain power 24/7. How are we going to survive? It feels like everything is out of reach. Oh my God, unretire? We might have to. Each day, your brain and your mind is bombarded with the same thoughts. I'm going to lose my job. How is my business going to survive? What if even just one piece of my income shrinks or disappears? The future, your kids and your grandkids' future, your employees' future. How are we going to create that rich life when interest rates are going up? The cost of living is going up. The cost of gas is going through the roof. We're already financially stressed and stretched super thin. It feels like everything we have is at risk, out of control. That's how it feels every single day. And it just seemed like that, as the saying goes, will that happen fast? The world opened up just this spring after 20 months of uncertainty, where we had stable prices. And now, well, I got you. I really have you. I've been through this before. As author of Principles, Ray Dalio says, it's just another one of those. When I bought my very first brand new car, a 1980 Dodge Colt, the interest rates were 16%. That's 1/6. For the last few years, we've been at just over 0%. And now you're freaking out because it might be 5%. And everyone opted for variable rates, right? Because they weren't really variable until now. My first house, a small cabin thingy on a lake, was at a similar rate. When I bought my house in Atlanta, as the crash of 2008 and 2009 was ending, the Canadian dollar was worth 20% more than the US dollar. My best investment ever, because I sold it in the flip-flop when the US dollar strengthened itself and it was worth 35% more than the Canadian dollar. How can someone who understands hedging and not the cedar hedge type, the trees, can make great returns in investments like that have been so stupid with their money generally? This is exactly what we're talking about today. And I promise that's it for the doom and gloom talk today. To have your rich life, your perfect life, your dream life, what I call the alive life, there are three things that you must lean into to thrive: your element, your environment, and your energy. So stop reading and listening to doom and gloom media, friends and family, anything, now that you know what that looks like and sounds like. Cut that crap out of your life. And if you're a stay-at-home dad and you love it, that's your element. If you don't, then try something else. If you're a pro golfer and you're good at it or really good at it or excellent at it, don't try and be a swimmer. If you're an entrepreneur, but your today's business is leaving you flat, consider a different element. Maybe it's something as simple as just changing to a different business model. Look for people who are thriving right now. Believe me, there are lots, and they aren't the ones making zillions and zillions of dollars, or the unicorns, or the unsavory greedy ones. Excuse me. They are right in your city, in your socials, all around you. You just have to be open because they talk differently. Curate your environment. And so this presentation, this video podcast is my gift to you to help you find the space, the headspace, the element, the environment, the energy. Excuse me. Thank goodness for water. I'm here. We've got put this presentation together for you so that you can find space, headspace to create your alive life. I don't have all the answers for you. I promise you that I don't have all the answers for you. Who does that? What I do have, though, is I have connections, access to resources, experiences, frameworks, community of thinkers. This episode is designed to guide you from a state of money worries to a place where you are no longer obsessing over the cost of everything, especially the little shit, where you are in control, where you have a plan, and you know exactly what to do and the feeling it will give you. Right now, I want you to do something for me. It's a little bit of an exercise. Imagine that you are at the most amazing barbecue hosted by your incredible friends. The meats and the fish and the veggies are all there, perfect and screaming out, "Eat me! Eat me!" The drinks of all sorts are lying in the cooler. Droplets of water are glistening off the sides of the bottles and cans. And dessert, you just can't wait. And over there on the side of the fabulous deck is the king or queen of the grill. And they are ready with that grill to create a spectacular bed of fire and hot coals. But no matter what they try, the barbecue simply will not catch and stay lit. There is advice being tossed at them from all directions, ridicule about their grilling ability, taunts about their starving friends. Isn't this what your money feels like? Just keep trying the same stuff over and over, and nothing seems to work. And after a while, it's become a nonstop cycle of start, stop, and momentum never, ever catches, just like the barbecue. And then someone walks up with a small handful of very dry twigs and some hay and just a little accelerant, aka gas, And as if they are the fire wizard, now the coals start to glow red on the corners and the much needed little breeze picks up. And if you've ever watched an episode of Survivor, you'll know that getting fire is the number one element to surviving and thriving. So what's blocking your fire? Yep, money is just that simple. My friends, there will always be enough money and resources in your life for your rich, perfect, dream alive life when you choose the best messages, framing your greatest desires, what you want for you and for your family, your business. Have those running in your head. What would it feel like? How do you find that feeling if you haven't done it before? Questions I've asked myself again and again. Questions I know some of you are asking right now. What would it feel like to money proof your life? You know, I'm not here to spin false hope, don't you? I hope you know that. The journey that you are on from this place where no matter what your current family income is haunted by this secret fear that your family and your business will run out of money. You fear this in the short term and years down the road. Maybe even unretiring has popped into your head. Parents moving in with you. Maybe bored and stuck are words you use to describe where you are. The purgatory of the mundane, as Lisa Bilyeu calls it, aka bored as shit. The journey to that place where life really works is a path through obstacles and issues and failures and wins. Lots and lots and lots of little tiny wins. One tiny step followed by another. Not a straight line, but a wandering, beautiful excursion through life. At the end, and as you move through, you are seeing life through a new lens with a whole different perspective. Living the alive life through a lens that isn't clouded by non-serving, limiting beliefs about money, by old stories that don't serve you, that you maybe inherited from your past, from your family, from stuff you heard and saw, and with a new appreciation for the abundance available in the world for you, your family, your business. So many people believe that there is just one path for everyone. There isn't. No one in the world will have your exact path. And that's why I call myself a guide, because sometimes the path on the map has a section that's flooded out, or it's just too damn slippery to go the main way and you need to make a new detour through the bush. On this path to a place where worries about money no longer are giving you sleepless nights, sometimes one step is so small you barely realize you're doing it or that you've even done it. It's a path that needs repetition, one step over and over, one new habit, one changed behavior, until it's your new normal and you no longer have to think about it. Yeah, there is a requirement for discipline, a reasonable amount of discipline, working to improve a step until it's strong enough to support the next move, and understanding that most times you are building parallel pillars, 3 to 5 of those, so you can have an unbreakable foundation and levels above that as you grow and learn and discover more. No matter where you are, every project, every new path you start on, every reinvention in your life, nothing is ever going to feel complete. It will never feel 100% complete. Nothing is ever perfect. You will always have that feeling that you could have done better. Ever said, I wish I'd done or not done something in relation to a money decision in your past? We all have. You are not alone on that one. holding yourself back, procrastinating, thinking if it's not going to be perfect, it's not worth doing, is a cardinal sin as we walk this path together. Because, guys, I'm still in this process. We're always in it. We need to remember nothing is ever perfect. You can always go back later and tweak it, like I'm actually doing right now with the Fit Body, Fit Mind dog. Or you can simply let it go. You need to remember to embrace every moment and moment. I sign every email, I sign off on every blog post, and every moment he reminds me of this every day. And appreciate the ebbs and flows of each day. Imagine if your life was like Groundhog Day, same thing over and over and over and over. And 5, get out of your false bubble of reality. If you simply do your best to be the best that you can be, you will wake up one morning and realize that you have become excellent at that thing. Embrace the process of mastering your craft, mastering a process, mastering the thing. We're here today to take steps to master our money. What do you really want? What does your life look like when it really works? Think about it. Have a look at the slide. We've got many, many roles in our life, but typically 6 to 8 really core ones. What does life look like when those things are really working? What does your business look like when it really works? And what if you could feel a little less lonely, a little less alone in the pursuit of those things when you're doing those things? Journal on that. What does my business look like when it really works? And what if you could do something and it could make things a little easier for someone else and you could get paid for it? You know me, I'm all about elevating under earners. It is such a shame when people dive into and throw that shroud of service over themselves and devalue themselves. You can be of service, massive service, and still be paid what you're worth. So write these questions down before you go to bed and take 10 minutes and start answering them. For me, I discovered it probably took a half a day to go through and just get out of my head and really see and feel what those things felt like. Can you keep an open mind? Be willing to feel your judgment and then just simply put it in the box and close the lid and listen for the next little while? Over the past 2 months, through the last 2 months of podcast episodes, you've learned how to spot and interpret your self-sabotages and any patterns or habits that aren't helping you move forward. You learned how to use the 3 S's process. Then you learned how important it is to know and optimize the times when you know with absolute certainty that your energy is locked into, I am going to rock this mode. You know how to harness your courage and laser focus that. And why? Just like we said to our kids, words matter. Then you faced reality, the reality of being an under-earner, plus some pricing tips. So now you're all set to transform everything related to your money worries, right? Right? Next week, just like those money gurus on Facebook, on Insta, and Google Ads promise, you are going to instantly make 10K in 10 days, have 10K months, know exactly how to become a millionaire in a year, working 10 hours a week And you're going to do that. That'll be you. Next week, you are never, ever going to worry about money again. Hell no. Guys, can you hear that bubble burst? Why? Because we know that making more money doesn't solve all of your money issues. If you aren't putting the time in to change your relationship with money, your thinking, the hidden stuff, the unfortunate gifts that you inherited from your parents or your family, and life experiences that many of them you didn't even know that you had. Does any of this sound like you? I use my business as my personal piggy bank. I depend on my business to bail me out anytime we're short personally. I got my hand up here. I'm not paying myself properly or at all. And I'm starting to resent putting time into this business. Hand up. When I put my hand out is because I felt those before. I'm always listening to my family and friends' advice on business as if it was gospel, even though they have no hands-on on profitable business experience. Even my partner keeps giving me the ultimatum, make it work or else. Again, hands up. I've been in all three of those places. Getting the basics in place gives you space in life to lean into your ikigai, your reason for living. Ikigai needs space to work. It needs a money foundation. Imagine that using the three S's could get you what you want. Choose one, two, or all three, and watch things shift positively for you. Stop relying on outdated methods, budgets, listening to friends and family, buying courses, spreadsheets, that kind of stuff. It all works, but it doesn't work in an isolated silo. Start taking a new step or a new action each week, even every day. There is no right time frame. And stop reciting old limiting beliefs and start creating your own stories, your own beliefs, and your own future. That's pretty easy, right? All you need to do is just pick one thing right now that you're going to do or not do. Every one of you can do that, can't you? Or are you going to be the one person who doesn't? I sure hope not. Here's what I've learned in my journey. Anything is possible. The reality is, the longer the runway, the greater the possibilities are if you keep moving forward. The longer runway always trumps what I call a trend win. Like courses in homeschooling is a perfect example. That's a trend win. Anybody with an online course in homeschooling in 2020 and 2021, their business just shot through the roof. And now, well, not so much. But that longer runway will always trump that trend win when it comes to sustaining profitability, longevity, and life happiness. What you are looking for almost always needs you to embrace your softer side. Guys, I'm talking to you, and ladies like me who throughout their life, their corporate life and so on, or even maybe right now, you get branded as bitchy or overly assertive or pushy. Like, you have to. I fought this for the very longest time. you have to embrace that softer side. It needs a constant balancing act of the soft and the hustle grind long hours. I recently decided that that was a 70-30 blend. It's 30% of the soft and 70% of the hustle grind long hours. Because the reality is, if you go into this thinking that money's just going to fall in your lap and you don't have to do anything, you are so sadly mistaken. But the reality is that you also don't want to get buried in that harsh hustle grind mentality. There is a place where it works beautifully. In order to have an extraordinary life, an extraordinary business, there will be many areas. And this is so important to remember, guys, that you are just simply average. And that's okay. And there will be one or two areas where you are mind-bogglingly, unbelievably extraordinary. And those may change through the seasons of life. Most of us won't ever be the 1% unicorns, the Nelson Mandelas, the Warren Buffetts, the Martha Stewarts of the world. But your voice matters, and there is a place where you will be the very best at that microscopic thing in the world. When I embraced the fact that future me, that vision, was all of me, plus tiny incremental steps forward. It was my past, every mistake, every bad choice, every misjudgment, all the successes, the people in my life currently, and those that are no longer there, and those that will come into my life, my career, my education, my dogs, my kids, everything. Every single atom plays a part in crafting that magical, alive life. When I got that, it no longer felt like the albatross that I was trying to drag with me everywhere, because it somehow gave meaning to my life. I gave it that power, and I took it all back. What would it feel like to never have to worry about money again? Having enough to do what you want when you want. When you blend the world of woo-woo and the softer side, the feminine side, the yin to the yang, with the essential tactics and strategy and financial knowledge, you have the home of the magic elixir to all of your money worries. It's simply being kind to yourself, always. It's being disciplined and accountable, always. And it's commitment to the process and to the outcome, always. I know that right now you are working all the time on that business or on your career, and that is leaving you feeling guilty, not being there for those who need you. And that might even be you who needs you. Working all the time on your money mindset, maybe even obsessing because you feel time counting down and you've got to dig yourself out of that hole, figure this shit out. Yet you somehow know that that is self-destructive, and that giving it more space, while counterintuitive, is the right thing to do. It's kind of like they do in haute cuisine, where they make something and then even a steak, and then they say, and now we have to let it rest. Just simply do nothing. And to be more committed than ever to finding a solution. Consider, what if the key is in fact having multiple diverse, emotionally impactful, rewarding things on the side, activities, sports, hobbies, even a side gig, even a second business? And what if your lack of financial resources is keeping you there, restricting your ability to see outside of the mundane, even to the point of not being able to see that it isn't the lack of financial resources, but it's your thinking about that is keeping you struggling to keep your head above water, trying not to drown. And what if you are feeling guilty because you think you should feel grateful and you do, but you want more for you? Is it selfish? Are you beating yourself up for that? Is toxic gratefulness really a thing? Can you be content exactly where you are with all you already have as a starting point? That is what happy really is. Happiness is just one of hundreds of emotions that each of us can choose in any moment. As the Japanese wabi-sabi philosophy teaches, to be content with what you have and where you are is to be grateful. To be content with what you have and where you are while working towards what you want and fully trusting that you can achieve it is to be intentional. And through gratitude, intention, and action, you find happiness. Isn't that what you're looking for? The three keys: gratitude, intention, and action. So I know most of you are probably not using words or scenarios that remotely resemble that. Peppering your sentences with money scarcity, we end up seeing our problems as a monthly income that's unpredictable, inconsistent, maybe even at risk. And when it finally does come in, it vanishes in days, right back out the door to bills. We've got no system in place. And what we have, if anything, is simply not sustainable. There's no effing way this budget crap is going to work for me. And spreadsheets, well, holy F. How do people deal with this? Or the endless loop of money worry cycling over and over in our heads, like the digital banner on Wall Street. How much do we have left? What's in the bank? How much credit do I have on my card? Which card can I use? No matter what we do, we can't seem to get ahead. Always wrapped up with, if we only had more money, then we could buy the things we need and want. No matter what your family take-home income is, people in the 250,000 plus a year range really struggle with this. It's a universal problem. Say this, put it on a Post-it note on the bathroom mirror, put it all around your house, put it in your wallet, put it on your debit card. There is always enough money and resources in my life when I choose the most empowering thoughts about what I want. When you understand the options, then you can see a potential solution and pick it. Solving your financial problems is that simple. And there are two options that start every journey to your alive life. Whether you are employed or whether you are self-employed. Option one, decide and commit to make a change in your situation. And option two, do nothing. That's it. Can you do that right now? And if you can, underneath this video on YouTube, type "I'm in." It's so easy to get overwhelmed with information. That's the unintended consequence of today's internet. So much information, free and paid, good, great, bad, and really bad. As I'm writing this, I'm listening to Moments of Love from The Art of Noise, one of my favorite jazz albums. But online, it really is just noise. You know the routine. The instant you Google something, you're slammed in the face with ads from all directions, courtesy of the algorithms. So how do you discover the right thing for your business or how to make more money. When people in the money space are talking about budgeting, investing, saving, profit, scarcity mindset, recession, interest rates, financial advice, cutting costs, cost of living, inflation, living below your means, thinking like a billionaire, the wealth gap, Ponzi schemes, passive income, hustle and work harder, work smarter, pricing, income diversification, jobs versus entrepreneurship, manifestation, law of attraction, spreadsheets, fire, affiliates. Holy shit, no wonder it's just easier to ignore it all. Are you confused? Already tuning it all out? Why is it so damn complicated? I've got a professional accountant, entrepreneur head. That's how my mind thinks. I honestly cannot imagine what this all sounds like to you. And that's why I hope you can find one little step that makes sense to you. It's why I created the Breakthrough Navigator programs, because I've been in your shoes. I can give you all the tactics and the strategy, but the real barrier, the solution lies in your head, in your thinking, regardless of how much tactics and strategy you try to pound in there on top of that. You must be able to find something to do that is so damn simple. The state of simplicity, your eternal life preserver, a step that you can come back to reach out to when you feel like you're going to drown. It's as simple as renaming or naming newly one of your bank accounts, like 7 days on a beach, or writing the due dates of your bills for the next 30 days in a planner so you see it every day, or planning tonight's dinner in 5 minutes this morning, or going on Amazon and buying that new pack of underwear. Damn it, it needed an upgrade. Writing the discount you got at Tim Hortons or Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or Target in your tracking journal somewhere, or just on a page in your planner. The experiment and track, then experiment and track. Focus on just one thing. What happens after 15 days of tracking every discount, after 30 days, after 60 days, after 90 days? Every money that comes into your life. Do you think anything's changing in how you think about money? It sure as hell is. Millions of people think there are universal steps to magically find your financial freedom. That simple mistruth keeps them stuck. You've learned over the past 7 episodes that there are specific things that keep your money flow blocked, and you've learned how to unblock it and keep it flowing and growing. Life is perfectly imperfect. There is beauty in imperfection. There is space to be 1% better in every single choice. Appreciating simplicity is a skill that opens doors and makes everything easier. Acceptance of the ever-evolving and changing world of nature, of all things, frees us from unrealistic expectations. And as I say, over and over in both words and in pictures, I know you get this because you are my peeps. Make space for beauty and nature in your life. Where is your North Star? What is the next goal? What is the goal for a bit further out? What is the next step for you? You've got you steps, and then you've got tactics and strategies. Get to neutral thinking about your money and your financial situation. Nothing is positive and nothing is negative. It is simply a fact. That $3,000 that's sitting in your bank account, that's not good. That's not bad. It's just simply $3,000 in your bank account. Calm your nervous system. If you are triggered by anything related directly or indirectly to money, there is disruption and anxiety in your system. Meditate, journal, walk, walk, dance, jump on the spot, whatever your spiritual practice is. What is the one tiny thing you could do to move you towards your when life works in any area? Are you ready for the next steps? You've got all the pieces you need to start in here and in the episodes 99 to 105. Have you done any of the exercises? If you haven't, then get back there, re-listen to the episodes, do the exercises. Your family's money story doesn't have to be yours or your family's. And today is where you start changing that by writing down one money phrase that you heard as you were growing up. Just one. Is it true or is it false? Can you prove it either way? If you think it's true, can you prove that it's false? If it's false, can you prove that it's true? Look for some examples. Give it a try. 99% of the phrases that we heard as we were growing up are not true. People out there are depending on you to make your business sing. They're depending on you to get your shit together. So as I wrap up this powerful episode, please remember these 3 things. When you are giving and finding meaning and joy in each and every moment, in every day, you cut the cords to needing a specific amount of money to do that. But you never stop striving for your goals. What you choose to do, how you build your alive life, doesn't have to be noble like the people we class as the 1%, the unicorns. It's your life and it is in your DNA. And when you appreciate the moments, you discover and curate your own personal ikigai. Yes, this is one of my grandsons. Every day, I am reminded that Iki means alive, and alive to me truly means living in the moment. And because it's not on this slide, just to remind you, the website to go to is obviously https://// www.debbiecolbourn.com/links. Everything we do can be found there. Again, Debbie Colbourn, COLBOURN.com/links.